as a law firm, as lawyers, what we assure you is to give you correct advice, especially in immigration law, and also the commercial legal structuring if you establish or expand your business to Australia.
Courage is what it takes to stand up and speak. On the other side of the coin, courage is also what it takes to sit down and listen. It's time to listen to a accredited immigration specialist, Mr. Susantha Katugampala.
Aiboan.
Today we are going to touch on a special area, but it relates to business, then business migration. Business migration, is it liberal now or still there's a stop tap on that?
I think it used to be very liberal. There were a lot of opportunities during the COVID for business and investor migration. However, since 1 July 2022, the last financial year, all the business migration applications have been suspended. So no invitations have been issued for new applicants, very limited opportunities, and people who are awaiting to get their visas granted, they're still pending and no quota has been allocated. That's an unfortunate event. However, the new financial year that has commenced from 1 July 2023, the government has allocated a quota for business and investor migration. And that's comparatively very low, 1,900 places. And if you look at the relevant year, which is 2021 and 22, there were 12,000 places for business migration. And then 22-23, there were 5,000 places. That 5,000 places have not been used. And way forward, it's only 1,900 places. So it's limited opportunities for business migration, but we hope, we expect that the business migration is still on. However, regardless of the business or investor migration opportunities, people have the opportunities to establish their companies in Australia. They can come to Australia, they can bring their investments, they can open their business in Australia, and they can do the investments. You could have different business visas, and if you have right, good technical legal advice, then certainly we can find a visa solution for those investors. So you're allowed to expand your business from Sri Lanka to Australia. Australia is an opportunity.
Now, you said Australia is an opportunity, but if I am a business migrant, I would look for the assurance, the security. How you read that in Australia, far as a businessman concerned?
Generally, under the Australian law, to own a company, you're not required to have a local partner. Even foreigner can have 100% ownership in a company. You're only required to have an Australian director, Australian citizen or a permanent resident, to be a director in the company. But you could have 100% ownership. So legally, technically, you have absolute protection for your investment. You need to have good advice, correct legal advice. There you secure use advice. And then even when you invest, you need to obtain correct advice. You need to have your agreements checked, verified, make sure that your structures are right. And you need to get good accounting advice, financial advice from your accountant to secure your investments. So those things are very important. Otherwise, you will not get the visa and you will lose your money. So as a law firm, as lawyers, what we assure you is to give you correct advice, especially in immigration law, and also the commercial legal structuring if you establish or expand your business to Australia.
Susantha, what are the defined areas for a businessman to land in Australia? Any particular defined areas, or they can come and just invest?
They can come and just invest. But there are restrictions. If you are investing into agricultural land, then certainly you need to have specific approval. When you invest into property as a foreigner, then you need to have the FAIRB approval, Foreign Investment Review Board approval. And but if you invest into a business, certainly you're not required to have any specific approvals. You can have 100% ownership as a foreigner, but most of these people have a temporary visa. So current trend is that the temporary visas, the visitor visas, or the business visitor visas are common, and the Australian High Commission in Colombo is likely to give you a visa if you're a genuine applicant. You need to prove you're a genuine applicant. Your intention is to return back home, and you have genuine ties in Sri Lanka, but certainly you can be here on a visa, you can travel back and forth.
It's great to hear that the Australian government has opened for the businessman or for the business visa, and we are happy to welcome, and definitely a specialized immigration specialist can assist or facilitate. But Susantha, one last thing I want to ask, what are the motives for someone to come over here, or what basically are the guideline you give them to come over here on a business visa?
So their motive is basically they want to have insurance policy. I think Sri Lanka is an opportunity where you can make lots of money, and your return must be much greater in Asia or the Middle East. But Australia is a safer, secure place. Australia is a great place to live. So people do that for education, healthcare, and many other reasons. And if they want to come on business migration, the current threshold criteria is that they need to own a business. The ownership must be minimum 30% and could be more. And then they need to have the accepted turnover of $750,000 in their business. It could be 2 businesses combined, and per year for 2 financial years, and net assets of $1.25 million. So they can qualify for business innovation visa. And if they're willing to invest either $2.5 million or $5 million, then there are investor visa categories, and where you need to invest your funds before you secure the visa. But if you come on innovation program, you're not required to invest funds before you obtain the visa. The investment should occur subsequently after you're granting the visa. But most of our clients commence their businesses, and we encourage them to start their business, employ Australians, and get the ball rolling while they're waiting for their visa. That way that their pathway for their PR in the future.
Simply one question to wind up our session. I mean, if someone decided and applied, what sort of period they have to wait, or what sort of period we are talking about for processing?
So business migration, we had experience of getting visas within a month, 3 months, but it could take 12 months or 2 years. Now there's a significant waiting period because the program's been suspended, the quota's been cut, reduced, and if the quotas are back in action, processing is back in action, it shouldn't be too long.
If you deserve best, contact Susantha of Fairfield Lawyers, because their support, their facilitation will guide you to success your application. Remember, whether you are in Sri Lanka, Australia, the opportunities are amazing. Talk to the right people. Thank you, Susantha.
Thank you, Sahan. Thank you, New Lanka. Bye-bye.